Wales as a nation is of course famous for its rugby, but if there's one other sport guaranteed to get Celtic hearts beating, then it's mountain running. They've been racing up and down these slopes for as long as anyone can remember. It takes tough physical training, determination and bravery to conquer the mountains as well as your rivals. Welcome to Snowdonia for the World Mountain Running Championships 2015. With the World Half Marathon Championships coming to Cardiff next year, Wales is getting used to hosting major sporting events. It's not just the capital city either. Up here in the beautiful north, they've recently hosted the Commonwealth Mountain and Ultra Championships as well as the World Trail Running Championships in recent years. This one, though, is set to be the biggest yet and offers a whole week of what could well be the most challenging discipline in all of athletics. Now, 32 nations have sent teams to Snowdonia here for the championships. British athletes have in the past enjoyed success here, but the Italian and the Alpine runners will believe just as much that they can stake a serious claim. And with East Africans increasingly turning their attentions to the mountains in recent years, you can guarantee some close racing.
I've got to give it everything. It's the best chance I have to have a great result against the best in the world. You know, in an ideal course, ideal weather, it's a perfect situation.
It'll definitely suit GB runners because we're used to cross country. It's, you know, surging, it's going fast and changing your tempo, and I think we are used to that.
I want to get a medal. I don't want to go home without anything. You know, it would be nice to get a gold medal, but if we can get some hardware, that's a huge blessing and a great, we represented our country.
I think in this track the descent is very fast. And so tomorrow I think I have to do my best to stay near the first girl.
Well, the World Championships are the climax of a week-long festival of sport based right here in Betws y Coed. Patrick Winterton has been taking a look at all the action up and down the mountains.
Well, there have been plenty of events running throughout the week in Conwy County, and the juniors putting on wonderful displays of stamina and determination, both the men and the women. Thoroughly hard-fought races, and of course so many years we see the juniors win one year and then come back the next year and win at senior level. Perhaps the most noticeable thing, the advancement that the Turkish team have made. They've been flying in all categories, but particularly in the junior men. Ferhat Bozkurt getting himself a decent lead in the junior men's over Levi Tomed of USA. At the end of his first lap, the women racing 4.7 kilometres, only one lap of this course here in Betws y Coed. Ali Ostrander of the USA, the outstanding athlete, running ahead of Michaela Stranska of the Czech Republic. But it was Ostrander who took the victory for the Americans.
The only goal for this race is to really go out there and make it burn. I want to make sure that I give everything I have. And so right from the horn at the beginning, I just wanted to take it out fast and attack the hill.
Well, she certainly did that. 19:44 the winning time, incidentally, for the women's 4.7. In the men's, no real changes on the second lap. Plenty of battles going on, but Ferhat Bozkurt of Turkey, outstanding. 33:56, his winning time to take the junior title at these World Mountain Running Championships. And Tomed of USA coming in a close second, just ahead of Göksel of Turkey also. Now, it's not just about the youngsters, there are plenty of veterans here. The Masters competition, every 5 years you move into a new category. The first one starts at 35 to 40, then 40 to 45. Some outstanding performances throughout, both by the men and the women. And many of these men racing at elite level a few years ago. But still ferociously competitive, and it's been a good run by this man, Zach Freudenberg of the Netherlands, putting up a great sprint just to make sure he's not pipped on the line.
You know, sometimes you come close, and about halfway through I thought, oh, there's a shot to win it. It's nice to call yourself a world championship, so then you got to go for it.
Well, 32 nations represented at these championships, and a lot of fun had by so many. And these youngsters just being introduced to the sport, and if you read the profiles of the world's best athletes, nearly all of them started when they were at school, and most of them encouraged by someone who recognised their talent. If one or two are inspired here, we may be looking at the champions of the future. Nothing like a medal at the World Championships, and nothing like getting to see the world's best on show, and Uganda certainly one of the nations that are expected to do well here in Bettiscoid. Italy, the dominant nation throughout the years in mountain running, they'll be difficult to beat. Turkey, as I mentioned, an up-and-coming force in the world of mountain running, and Great Britain on home soil. Can they take advantage of that? Well, the scenery is second to none. Snowdonia National Park producing its finest weather for one of the biggest events held here this year. A look around the course for all the athletes. A number of teams have been here for a few days. They've already run the course, they know it well, but there is nothing wrong with going over it one more time and deciding exactly what pace you're going to attack it, particularly that first lap. Well, let's have a look at the course. They work their way up the hill to the south of Bettiscoid, all the way up to Llyn Elsi when the descent will start. That's certainly the most picturesque part of the course, but there will be no time for enjoying the views. This descent is fast and treacherous. 10 minutes on the way up, 5 or 6 to get back down again.
Well, the stage is set for the Women's World Championship. British athletes have had a great deal of success in recent years, and despite the heat, conditions could well suit them again today. But we'll find out who's going to plant their flag at the top in Snowdonia after a break. Welcome back to Snowdonia and the World Mountain Running Championships. Now, female athletes from 32 nations have made it here to the start line in Bettiscoid, about to find out who's the very best in the world. 8.9 kilometres of steep Welsh countryside will prove just one thing. It's going to take a very strong athlete to win the day.
And there are plenty here, and 4 of them in British vests. Vic Wilson, Emily Collinge, we've got Emma Clayton and Sarah Tunstall, the winner of the British Trials.
It's just the opportunity for all your friends and family to be there. I know I probably will never do another home champs, so it's nice that people can come and watch, and yeah, I just think that home support is going to be, I don't think we'll be able to prepare ourselves for that. Hopefully it'll be something we really enjoy and we'll always look back on afterwards.
And their main competition could well come from the Italians, 4 very strong runners, and Italy, of course, the defending team champions. They'll be trying their very best to make it 2 in a row here in Wales.
There are a lot of other teams very, very strong, like Great Britain, like USA, and also Africa with Uganda. So we will do our best, and from Italy, from Italian girls. We want to see good luck to everyone.
So the sun shining brightly. The temperature may be a little bit too hot for some of them, but those from Uganda will be relishing these conditions as they work their way out of the town. An extra 350 metres on this first loop as they enjoy a flat section through the town centre, and then when they break off the road, it is up, 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 all the way to Llyn Elsi at the top of the climb. 2 laps of this course here at Besicoed to make up a distance of 8.9 kilometres, and they'll be covering that in under 40 minutes if the training runs are anything to go by. Very quick start by the Czech athlete Paula Sharma Mariasova, and Canada's Blaise Sunius looking good 2-1-3. Quick start from her. Annie Sabri of France is in there as well in the top 3. No need to panic for the Brits. They're all there in the middle of that front group. So starting well, Sarah Tunstall leading the British charge at the moment on the far side with the headband on. And that's an encouraging start from her. Kimber Mattox, perhaps the best of the Americans, wearing 269. You might just pick her out. Certainly a strong athlete on the climb. Expect to see her featuring the first time up the hill. Pacing, so important. If it was a 1-lap race, then being at the front at this stage would be important. A 2-lap race, things will change on the way round, and anyone who attacks too hard at the beginning will pay.
There's a mixed bag in the GB team, which is always good, because mountain running brings together, cross-country backgrounds, road backgrounds, all kinds, because it is a mixture of that speed and strength. Surging, it's going fast and changing your tempo, and I think we are used to that.
Tunstall, 29-year-old from Cumbria, self-coached and leading the way at the moment. Kimber Mattox just edging her out. In fact, the American, who was only 3rd in the USA trials, but had only just come off the track season at that stage. She certainly had some training on the hills. And in the top 5, Emma Clayton of Great Britain looking good.
I do feel a lot stronger. I medalled at European Uphill Championships, which has not been done by a Brit for a very long time, so I feel a lot stronger in my climbs, and I think my speed is there as well, so yeah, I'm feeling relatively fit.
Clayton 3rd in the GB trials behind Tunstall and Collinge, and Britain in a very strong position. 3 to count in the women's team event, and they have 2nd, 3rd and 4th at the moment. If they keep those positions, they'll finish with just 9 points, which is unbeatable from any other nation. Brilliant start, but we are on the first climb of a 2-lap course. Kimber leading, Tunstall 2nd, Clayton 3rd, Collinge in 4, and then we go a little bit further back. Leading the chasing group is Stella Chesang, an 18-year-old from Uganda. She is outstanding. Be interesting to see what she can do on the flat, because she's very quick over 5,000 metres. Mattox extending her lead again. She's done, as I say, a lot of hill sessions since those US trials, and it seems to have paid off. And one thing to remember in this game is the importance of being able to run downhill quickly.
I've got quite a lot of speed on the descent, but I feel my strength's improving all the time on the climbs. So I feel as long as I can kind of stick in the climb, then I've got enough speed to kind of maybe get away from a few athletes.
Well, we will see, because once they reach Llyn Elsi, they have to think about their descending speed. It's not only fast, it's technical running as well. And the speeds really do need to be seen to be believed. So here we go, and suddenly it's Great Britain 1, 2 and 3. It's looking even better for the team event. Kimber Mattox of USA drops from 1st to 4th. Chesang still there in 5th. And the leading Czech athlete Pavla Shona Mariasova down in 6th at the moment. Nice deft footsteps. You've just got to let the body go, keep the upper body forward. 11:34 to the top of the climb. We'll try and get you a split on their 2nd ascent of the hill, but for now they just focus on keeping the leg speed up. Let the body go, relax as much as you possibly can, and you may see the arms flailing all over the place, but that is just a matter of balance. So great spirit in the British team. There must be a feel-good factor there. Let's just hope that they haven't started too quickly. Closing the gap slightly is Stella Chesang. I mentioned an 18-year-old, the junior world champion from last year, and she's in a position to challenge for medals at the senior championships this year. Member of the police in Uganda. She's very good over 5,000 metres, and in fact was fourth in the Junior World Championships. So we know that of the four runners in your picture, Chesang has the quickest track speed, and therefore we'd expect her to be quicker on the downhill than the other three athletes. We will see if that is the case. She certainly looks poised. 3 big wins already this year for Stella Chesang. An outstanding athlete, and she's broken away from her teammates. Shalangat and Shamutai back with the chasing group are some way back as Chesang just eases past in the space of 50 metres. She's taken, what, 5, 6, 7 metres out of the British athletes. Wonderful style. So confident, so relaxed. And perhaps more importantly, she is doing less damage to the muscles by being a free runner than the 3 behind her. That body position nicely forward. Well, I can tell you that from here on down to Betsikoi, the track just gets steeper and steeper and faster. Being sure of their footing is one thing. The track actually in very good condition. It's beautiful running conditions here. And Conwy County have gone to great lengths to ensure that all the events have run smoothly. We've had a whole week of activity. This, of course, the highlight, the Senior World Championships. And at the moment, Stella Chesang of Uganda streaming away down to the bottom of the first ascent. And that will set her up for the second lap. And she has to come back up this section of the course. The British still in second, third and fourth. The third of the 3 British is Emily Kalinj, who's in a British vest for the first time this year. And here comes one of Italy's best, Alice Caggi from Fido, the 28-year-old. Always expect to see something special from the Italians. They can descend like no one else. The Irish doing well here. They're there in numbers and could well get a good team position. But it's Chesang who starts the second climb in first place, and she's pulled even further ahead of the British athletes. Outstanding. Now, can she keep the pace going? She seemed to hold back on the first climb. We will see what she does on the second one. Well, there you see the positions at the end of the first lap. Clayton, Tunstall, Kalinj. It has changed because Kalinj has gone ahead of Sarah Tunstall, who, remember, led the charge up the first climb. I wonder whether she pushed just that little bit too hard. Her stride has shortened, and this second climb is going to be very, very painful indeed. Well, it's not what most people would do for fun, but these athletes enjoy every single step, and they'll particularly enjoy the finish at the end of a tough day like this. Chesang dancing her way up. She looks so light on her feet, and I have to say that Emma Clayton is doing an outstanding job. The 27-year-old from Yorkshire now just slightly ahead of Emily Kalinj. Those two having a wonderful day out, both of them finishing in the top 3 of the British trials. Tunstall with a higher breathing rate and a shorter step than the 3 athletes in front of her. What's important is that she doesn't lose any places. If she can stay in fourth, Britain will secure the team event. Only 3 of the 4 women in the team counting. Now, some are really suffering. You wouldn't expect to see the Ugandans. That gives you some idea of how steep the climbs are here in Betsikoi. Chesang makes it look easy. The breathing might tell you otherwise. She has got to keep the work rate up because Emily Kalinj is on a flyer. 4 wins in 2015 already. She's done a lot of racing. In fact, she's based herself in Italy to improve her mountain running, and it has certainly paid dividends. Trained by Jeff Hill, He'll be happy with the way things are going. Here's Emma Clayton again, the silver medalist back in 2013, finished third in the European Championships this year, and she certainly deserved a medal, having finished sixth in 2013 and 2014. So the latest placings: Chesang, Kalinj, Clayton, Tunstall, still 3 Brits in the top 4, and Kimber Mattox, who led at the top of the first climb, now down in 5th place. All the climbing just about completed. This is uphill, but it's gradual compared to what Chesang has done already today. Alice Gaggi of Italy negotiating the steepest, most technical part of the course, and the Italians with such a wonderful record in the world of mountain running. The slow motion shots giving you some idea of what the limbs, the joints, the muscles go through on these descents. There is no doubt that Stella Chesang has perfected the art of downhill running, flying down towards the finish in Betsikoi, but Kalinj is still hanging in there. This is without doubt her best ever performance as she lengthens that stride. Her first ever World Championships. She's relishing this occasion and certainly doing that British Fest proud today. We saw her run the Red Bull steeplechase last year over 21 miles, and she showed that she's got stamina for that sort of event. Today, she's proving she's got the strength for the really steep climbs and the even steeper descents, holding her own against Emma Clayton of Great Britain, who keeps the pressure on. Clayton in that bronze medal position at the moment. And here comes Sarah Tunstall at 29, still an exceptional runner, the winner of the British Championships, of course. And she may miss out on a podium today, but it's been a brilliant performance by her. And Stella Chesang, some would say a stroll in the park. She won the Junior World Championships at the age of 17. A year later, she comes to Wales and she wins the Senior World Championships with an unbeatable performance. That really was majestic. The silver medal is going to go to Emily Kalinj. First time in a British Fest, remember, and it's one she will not forget. She's had to fight hard to hold off Emma Clayton, but Clayton puts 2 Britons on the podium and pretty much secures the gold medal in the team event. Kalinj, an outstanding performance, may not have been expected by some, but she knew she had it in her. Now, Sarah Tunstall struggled on that second lap, but she's held on to 4th, ahead of the 2013 world champion Alice Gaggi of Italy, who finishes 5th today. But what about that? 3 Brits in the top 5. Outstanding individual performances by them. And we'll have a look at the results. Well, Gaggi there, 1 minute 21 off the leading pace. Tunstall, Clayton, Kalinj, all very, very tight indeed. But Stella Chesang of Uganda in a class of her own.
Did you win on the uphill or the downhill? Where was your strength?
The downhill.
You attacked on the downhill?
Yes.
And now you're the world champion. Does that sound good to you?
Yes, this is good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chesang pacing it perfectly. The Brits, well, they had the perfect team.
Absolutely ecstatic. Yeah, it was so nice. The feeling, all 3 of us going up, I was like, oh my God, it's incredible. Yeah, it was amazing.
Your finest day?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
I think I might have done a little bit too much in the first lap. I was trying to hold back a bit, but you just get carried away. But I am delighted with 3rd, and to have a 2nd, 3rd and 4th in a World Championship from Great Britain girls, I mean, that's absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm really, really proud of them.
So let's look at the team results. 2, 3 and 4 give Britain just 9 points, streaks ahead of the USA in 2nd, Uganda in 3rd, having had that win from Chesang, and the Italians, last year's champions, down in 4th place. You get the feeling that Chesang has been on many a podium, and at 18 she's going to be on many, many more.
Well, the winning women can enjoy the glory, but for these male athletes, the tension is just beginning to build as they prepare to take on the mountains and each other. It's the Men's World Championship coming up. Welcome back to Snowdonia in North Wales for the World Mountain Running Championships. Now, Stella Chisang has just been crowned in the women's event, and the men are gearing up for the fight to decide their title with one burning question: can Uganda do the double?
Uganda have the defending champion, Isaac Kiprop. There he is, not 100% fit to be honest, but they have Shamonges, Mangushu, Masubu, all of whom are capable of winning this title. And with 32 nations represented, it's anybody's guess as to who's going to come out on top today. But I can tell you that over time, the Italians have dominated. 23 out of 30 team events have gone to them.
The hill is very fast, the downhill. I think that for the senior men, in the 3 lap is a very hard course.
Bernard Di Matteis and his brother Martin, 2 men to watch out for today from Italy. That was Robbie Simpson of Great Britain, certainly a potential podium finisher today. And away they go, everyone jostling for a good position in the early stages of this race. And it's a very, very fast start indeed. Oh, down goes Robbie Simpson. Trip from behind. I think that was Bernard Di Matteis behind him, who had his hand on his shoulder. And either that or Michael Banks of New Zealand just did a tap tackle unintentionally, but all sorts of drama. But the good news is that Simpson is back on his feet and he's back into 6th position. Wonderful recovery from him as John Patrick Donovan of USA leads the way round the first corner. Russia's Galiulin just behind him in 2nd place. Joe Gray of USA, another outstanding athlete, down in 3rd or 4th position at the moment, moving over onto the far side just in front of Britain's Robbie Simpson. Now let's have another look at the incident at the start. Robbie Simpson in the middle of your picture, about to go down. Di Matteis just behind him, I think actually tied up with Michael Banks of New Zealand, who certainly made contact, but we don't need to worry because it seems that no damage has been done. As we know, Simpson is back on his feet and running well. They start to bunch and the Ugandans coming to the fore for the first time. The hill climbing certainly their forte, but watch out for the Italian twins, Bernard and Martin Di Matteis, in 5th and 6th at the moment. Both of them have held the world vertical kilometre record, and that could stand them in good stead today. Exactly the same course as we've just seen the women race. Up the hill to the south of Betisicoid, over towards Llyn Elsi, and then that rapid descent. And from a group of 6, we're down to 4. 2 Italians, 2 Ugandans. Short steps from the Ugandans, long loping strides from the Italians. Take your pick as to which is the most efficient. Bernard on the right of your screen, the more accomplished of the twins, but no doubt enjoying his brother's company on this first climb, 3 times round.
The stronger team are Uganda, also Italy, but also Great Britain, because Great Britain is in home, okay.
Well, no sign of the British team members at the moment, and don't forget they did their British trials on this course, so they know exactly what pace to attack, and there's no doubt that there are 1 or 2 men up the front of the field who are exceeding expectations. Well, there's Donovan of USA, who was so quick down the street, looks as though he's already struggling, paying the price for that early sprint. Canada, Ireland, Portugal, Germany. The Austrians with a good record in the women's events. No Andrea Meyer racing this year, as we see Bernard Di Matteis pulling away from the 2 Ugandans. He's very quick on the downhill, and you can see from his route choice that he has had a very good look at this course. He knows every single little shortcut that can be taken. Here he comes, dances his way down the most technical stretch towards Llyn Elsi, and then it's a quick run along this track. Di Matteis 9:37 to the top of the hill. They're almost 2 minutes quicker than the women on their first lap. Here comes Robbie Simpson, fully recovered. Looks like a little graze on that right shin, but no real damage done. Eating up the metres, de Matteis. And as he gets more and more fatigued, that head will swing from side to side. The Paula Radcliffe of men's mountain running. The Italians have hosted the championships on no fewer than 11 occasions, and this only the third time it's been held in the UK. Back in '88 it was held in Keswick, and then Edinburgh hosted the event in '95. In 2015 it's Wales and Conwy that host one of the greatest, perhaps the toughest of all athletics events. The first of 3 descents down towards Betws-y-Coed, and only a minute separating the top 30 athletes.
Well, while the runners are on their way to this drink station for the first time, let's take this opportunity to offer a little insight into the unique demands of this fascinating sport. Earlier, I caught up with the former 6-time world champion, Jonathan Wyatt of New Zealand. Jonathan, what makes a mountain runner, and what makes them different from, say, a marathon runner, for example? What makes you guys so unique?
There are a lot of different nuances in the sport of running. Running sounds pretty simple. It's just one foot in front of the other. But in general, that's true. But when you get into more of the details and the specifics of it, a good mountain runner is going to be somebody who's likes to run well on the very steep hills and also can run well on a variety of terrain. You're working really hard uphill, working very hard aerobically and cardio-wise. Then as you run downhill, you get a chance to recover. But like anything you have to train it. So you need to train on the very steep uphills, and then you train on the downs as well, and you get used to it.
So the steep descents, and there is a steep descent on this track here in Snowdonia, do some runners just have more bottle than others as well? Because you're not messing around here. If you come to grief here, it's going to hurt, right?
Oh, absolutely, yes. If you crash and burn, you really do feel it, and you'll know about it. But yeah, it's a skill to be learned as well and practiced. So you'll see the runners on the weekend. Boy, they'll be just throwing themselves on the downhill there, because you can make so much ground and time just by running very, very fast on the downhills. But the key trick is not to hurt your legs too much, so that you can still run the next uphill. So that's the fun thing about the race, because you'll see a lot of runners running incredibly fast on the first downhill, but they're not the ones that could potentially win the race. So you're going to see a lot of changes throughout a race like this.
And it's still Bernard de Matteis who leads the way. There'll be a lot of people happy to see him up the front. He was 4th last year, but he was also 4th in 2008 and 2009. It's about time this man finished on the podium, and at the moment he's leading the way. He's got some 50 metres over the 2 Ugandans, and chasing him hard, the 19-year-old Fred Musobu, who's got a 5,000 metre PB, incidentally, of 13:43. He is quick. But at the moment, de Matteis holding him off. The 29-year-old from Corentime looking very solid indeed, but how much energy is he using on this first lap? There's Mangusho down in 3rd place, just ahead of Martin de Matteis. So 2 Ugandans, 2 Italians still in the first 4. And there's the first of the British vest, worn by Robbie Simpson, who had that fall early on, but he's recovered well. The positions after the first lap, 16:21 for de Matteis. Musobu just 4 seconds behind. Martin de Matteis moving ahead of Mangushu, just 21 seconds down, nothing really between them. And the defending champion, Kiprop, is hanging on in 5th place, just ahead of Italy's Chevrier and Robbie Simpson in 7th. And good news for Great Britain, Andrew Douglas is just outside the top 10 and only 10 seconds down on Simpson.
So that's the race situation after one lap. Italy and Uganda dominating proceedings as things stand. But remember, that is just the first lap. There are 2 more to come. Unlike the runners, we can take a short break though. Welcome back to Bettersea Coed in beautiful Snowdonia and the World Mountain Running Championships. Breathtaking scenery all around this testing course. The runners won't be enjoying any of it though as they continue to struggle their way to the finish line. Let's go back to your commentator, Patrick.
They have some way to go before they finish this one. They're now on the second of 3 laps of this brutal course, each lap involving a vertical climb of some 239 metres. Italy and Uganda going head-to-head up front. It's Bernard Di Matteis, the man with the record for the vertical kilometre, leading the way ahead of Fred Musobo. Musobo looking very, very composed indeed. Nice short strides from him. His teammate not far behind. This is Joshua Mangusho, who's still holding off Martin Di Matteis in 4th place. So Italy and Uganda dominating affairs at the moment, but an almighty battle going on for the minor placings, which is being won at the moment by Britain's Robbie Simpson, who's moved up into 5th place. And he was saying before the start of this race that pacing is absolutely crucial. I just get the feeling he took that first lap relatively easy, and he's got something to give in the latter stages.
Got to weigh it up because, you know, if you go with these guys and they're incredibly fast on the first lap, then you risk, you start too fast, you've got 3 laps to do. And on that second and third climb, you're really going to suffer if you went too fast. You have to judge it, from the start and try and put yourself in a good position, but also understand how you feel and, how tired you are.
Well, good news that Robbie Simpson's doing so well. He's moved up into 5th place, but his teammates also starting to move up through the order. Simpson, Douglas, Smith, Adams. It's a strong squad. The French, who in the past have done very well. One of only 4 teams ever to have won the team event at these World Championships. This the 31st time as we see Fred Musobo of Uganda, who's now moved into the lead for the first time, and he's up the tempo, loping along as he so often does. Behind him is Bernard Di Matteis. He's really trying to keep the pressure on, but Musobo's into the flow. Beautiful footwork down the steepest part of the course. Again, the corner is cut by Di Matteis. And over the high point for Musobo. Robbie Simpson is closing on the second of the Italian twins. And he's closing on Mangusho as well. So a really good second climb from Robbie Simpson. Is he on his way to a podium? Certainly, he's running with a confidence that might suggest he feels it's possible. We'll see how he gets on. Remember, there's still 1 more lap to go after the completion of this one. Further down the field, the Mexicans looking good, this time with Juan Carlos Carrera, who's going well. And in terms of team positions, we've got Italy leading 29 points, Uganda 37, Great Britain on 53, a long way clear of the Americans who are on 78. But can Great Britain catch Uganda? A lot will depend on whether Kiprop suffers from the injury. Well, there we see another faller. There haven't been many. Robbie Simpson off the start line. And the Italian, Bernard Di Matteis, still trailing Musobo, who's now 100 metres or so ahead. And as is characteristic of this man, the more fatigued he is, the more that head rocks from side to side, leading the way for the Italian team, trying to bring them that 24th title.
I think Great Britain, Italy and Uganda, also USA for the podium. I think this for a team. Okay, there is a fight to this team. Okay.
12 years he's been in the national team. How he would love to claim this world title. His brother still only 30 seconds or so behind him. Robbie Simpson getting closer and closer to 3rd and 4th position. This is looking very good for Simpson, who's had a blistering second lap. And he should be on level terms with the Italian and the Ugandan come the start of the 3rd and final lap.
Got to give it everything. It's the best chance I have to have a great result against the best in the world. In an ideal course, ideal weather, it's perfect situations.
Come on, Brandon.
Bernard de Mateus not looking quite as happy as he did on the very first lap, but he will not stop. A light figure, that of course hugely advantageous on these steep climbs. The Italians on 28 points, they're still clear of Uganda. Kiprop is dropping down the order and that could be crucial. And Great Britain, with Thomas Adams down in 30th, if he can gain a few places, they could well challenge for the team silver. Well, look at this. Robbie Simpson has gone ahead of the second-placed Ugandan Mangushu, and he's gone ahead of Martin de Mateus as well. So he is now in the bronze medal position and chasing silver. Martin de Mateus, his stride has understandably shortened, but he doesn't look quite as full of running as Robbie Simpson. Breathing is under control, the pace, the cadence is quick, and the foot plant looks certain and strong. Well, it looks as though Mangushu has really suffered on the start of this. Joe Gray of USA has gone ahead of him. 5 times America's Mountain Runner of the Year, Joe Gray. He's had a really busy season. Fred Masubu, 9th in the cross-country World Championships, and he showed some of those skills here today. A sub 14-minute 5,000 metres. It really is astonishing. There's de Mateus in the national team since 2004. So many times de Mateus has finished 4th. He must be dreading that happening again, but with just the descent to come, I think he should be able to hold off his brother Martin. Oh, Martin takes a big fall now. That looked painful, but he's up and away. He's made of tough stuff. So Italy, Uganda, Great Britain, still we see the teams. And Italy could well be claiming title number 24. 11 times they've already claimed the individual title, but I don't think that's going to happen today. Fred Masubu is going to take some catching. Supporters from just about every single one of the 32 nations represented here at these championships. Well, there's a fabulous baton change as Masubu takes the flag. He's got under a kilometre to go now, and at speeds of just around 30 kilometres an hour, he's descending to the town for the final time. A great display of how to run the mountains. He's only 19 years of age. Done a lot of racing in Italy, so he will have seen the likes of de Mateus before. Robbie Simpson, well, he's not that far behind. Simpson's had a very good climb on that last lap of some 9 minutes 40, only 3 seconds slower than Masubu, but he's not as quick as Masubu on the flat, streaking his way through the village, down towards the finish line now. Slightly different route than we saw at the start, so the lap times will be different, but we're looking for a time well under that 50-minute barrier for a 14-kilometre race of this severity. That is absolutely astonishing. And Fred Masubu, with 20 metres to go, is going to claim the 2015 World Mountain Running title, and he's done it in style. So Uganda make it an individual title for the 3rd year in succession. But what about this man, Bernard de Mateus? 3 times he's finished 4th. This year, he takes the silver medal. Much deserved. 12 years of racing at the highest level. And there'll be a big cheer for this man. And he's got a big smile on his face, and why not? Robbie Simpson took the first lap relatively easy, and he's produced the goods on the second and third lap. He's got himself a bronze medal at the World Championships. The 23-year-old from D-Side Runners, his coach Martin Cox will be delighted with that performance. But will it be enough to get Great Britain a medal in the team event as well? We will see. Martin De Matteis, the second Italian to finish, so they've got second and fourth at the moment, and Baldacchini isn't far behind them. Here comes Andrew Douglas of Great Britain. This is going to be a really good performance by him. He's missed out on the top three, but he's going to go sixth, just behind Joe Gray of the United States. Those two have had a battle royal all the way around that last lap. Italy's third runner coming in. This is Xavier Chevrier. And just behind him, Joshua Mangusho, who was in third place after the third lap. So Mangusho has suffered a little on that final run. And with Shimongis coming down the home straight now, we're going to have 3 Italians and 3 Ugandans across the line. We now have 3 British. The next finisher of those 3 teams could well claim the world title, and it's going to be Italy. A great run by Baldacchini, who's going to finish in the top 12, and that will seal the title in the team event. The Italians have done it yet again. 24 titles out of 31. A world force. Well, there it is confirmed. 25 points to Italy. Uganda with 38. Great Britain on 46. That adds to the gold medal that Great Britain's women took just earlier today. So every single member of the British team taking home a medal. In the individual, Simpson, a brilliant third place, bronze medal to him, just behind Bernard De Matteis, who at last has got himself a medal. But Fred Musobu, outstanding.
World champion. How does that sound? Does that sound good?
It's good now. I'm so proud of Uganda, and we are making our country proud of us.
You must be very pleased with that run. You must be very happy today.
Yes, we are very happy indeed.
Fantastic from the Italians as well. The De Matteis twins leading the way.
For me, it's the silver medal is the gold medal today. I try to win the gold medal, but Fred is faster to me, and but for me it's wonderful. I don't believe in what happened. For me it's a dream.
Well, don't forget the worst possible start for Great Britain's Robbie Simpson, a fall after 75 metres, but he was back on his feet and he's run himself onto the podium today.
I was in a good position, then I felt a push from behind, then another push, and then all of a sudden I was sliding along the tarmac. And then someone pushed me and then I came up again, kept running, and then I was back at the front. So
I believe they say crash rate shows the wound.
Yeah, that's the hand.
Yeah. Well, listen, to get through that and get yourself a bronze medal is a brilliant run. Well done.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the support all the way around. It means you don't feel the pain when you're running hard.
Perhaps his best performance since he won the Snowdon Marathon at the age of 18, but Fred Musobu is the champion today.
Well, many congratulations to both Fred Musobu and of course to Stella Chesang, as well as teams who've won gold medals in their respective competitions. It's been a wonderful celebration of mountain running, and Wales has done everybody proud. From everybody here at the World Mountain Running Championships 2015, it's bye for now.